What is up, my butter biscuits? I am so sorry that I have been MIA over the past couple days with this whole Jeffree Star, Trisha Paytas, Shane Dawson, Hair by J drama. Normally by now I would have made a couple videos about this whole situation. However, I've been super busy and haven't been able to sit down and film and edit and all that good stuff. It's so crazy because actually going into January, I was like, okay, like it's gonna be a slow month. Normally on YouTube and normally like with coming to commentary and stuff like that, it's kind of a slow month. So I was focusing more on the makeup portion of my channel. And y'all, I just took a couple of days off. I have filmed my e.l.f. Camo CC Cream review and I just still haven't uploaded it. It's literally sitting there waiting to be uploaded. However, I was like, let me make this video first. Within today's video, I just want to let you guys know right off the bat, it's going to be very long. I think at this point, because now this has been going on for a couple days, it's best for me to do a reaction style video to where I watch portions of Trisha Paytas' first video as well as her second video, because there's a lot to talk about within this. And I thought, you know what, let me just go ahead and make one big old long video. I feel like it would be a little bit easier and a little bit more easy to follow along because there's just so many things happening between Trisha Paytas, Hair by J, and Jeffree Star, and then Trisha Paytas and Rylan Adams and Shane Dawson. So being that she made these two videos about it, I was like, oh snap, let me just go ahead and put it all into one and we can watch some clips of her videos and kind of like, you know, have a conversation about it as we go. I just want to go ahead and say before we get into this, I think I have kind of like reached my point of like being fed up. It's so crazy. If y'all watch my videos, if y'all know anything about me at all, I literally started doing commentary on my channel because I wanted to have like a different take on this. You know, I felt like a lot of drama channels out there are negatively biased, or some of them really do stir the pot and create a situation just way more worse. And I feel like I have done an excellent job at staying very rational and very level-headed and actually seeing both sides of the situation. You know, I feel like I'm a very good person to put myself into somebody else's shoes and see why they did what they did and why they said what they said. And I have to say, y'all know every single Jeffree Star video, I have always given him the benefit of the doubt. Yes, back in June, I believe of 2020, I did stop supporting him. I said, you know what, I'm not going to purchase his cosmetics anymore. I just don't feel like it is right. A lot of people have called me wishy-washy when it comes to Jeffree Star because I have opinions about his makeup brand and then I have opinions about him. And I think it's very hard for people to differentiate the two, you know, because on one hand, I'm saying Jeffree Star Cosmetics is so amazing. I love the concepts. I love my palettes. The formulation is great. Like, I really have loved his liquid lipsticks, his highlighters, things like that. I have been a fan of his products, you know, so I have purchased them. However, I have been very obviously opinionated about him and his just terrible behavior. So a lot of people are like, you're so wishy-washy when it comes to Jeffree. And I'm like, no, there's just two different sides of it. And there's a makeup artist side of me. And then there's obviously the human side of me where I do have morals and I do have opinions. And I'm like, y'all, he really is the common denominator within all of these problems. Look at everything that he's been through. Kat Von D, Tati Westbrook, James Charles, Gabriel Zamora, Nikita Dragon, now Trisha Paytas, Manny MUA, did I already say that? The list goes on and on and on. And I feel like at this point, I'm just like, I'm just so tired of it, straight up, because I know a lot of people out there have this opinion going into the Hair by J situation that, you know what, Hair by J isn't a representation of Jeffree Star. But let me just say this, as somebody like me who takes things for face value, do not be naive like me, because there's been so many times where I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's look at this positively. No, the truth of the matter is, if Hair by J is getting onto a live video and saying all these things about Trisha Paytas on a live video, imagine the conversations that he's having with Jeffree Star in private. And Jeffree Star obviously just goes ahead and feeds into that. There has been a very sympathetic side of me that I look at Jeffree Star and I say, you know what? He's been through a whole lot in his life. And me obviously growing up as a gay man and just being fat and just having all these flaws, I have been picked on several times. And I feel like there's people like Jeffree who has been through the same amount of bullying and stuff like that, who literally turns into the bully. You know what I'm saying? Because in a weird way, it's a like defense of them. Me, I'm the opposite. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to like make everybody happy and just kind of like, you know, love everybody. But I've seen it time and time again, and I've been so sympathetic to Jeffree and say, you know what, he has had a troubled past. He's been through a lot in his life. Obviously, he's dealt with a whole lot of online bullying ever since, you know, the MySpace days, and he just built up this defense. However, now I'm just truly starting to see Jeffree Star really is the root of all of these problems. How many times has he been through it with so many people? And it just continues on, and I think that sucks. And I've said it time and time again, I really had been so hopeful for him to just be a good person, because his cosmetic side, y'all, I don't care what you say, Jeffree creates some amazing things. His concepts are so unique and so different to what else is out there on the market, and I absolutely love his stuff. And I do have to be honest with y'all, as soon as I made the decision to stop purchasing his cosmetics, I was like, oh, this kind of hurts me because I really did look forward to purchasing his next collection because everything was just so well thought out and just the quality was there. You know what I'm saying? So as a makeup lover, as a makeup artist, there's that side of me that I was just like, oh, dang, I really don't want to do this because I love that. However, at the end of the day, why am I going to continue to support somebody who is just not a good person, you know? And after watching this Hair by Jay video, y'all, I have dealt with a lot of these same comments before within my life, and low-key, y'all, I'm a very non-sensitive person. You can call me whatever. Like, genuinely, I don't care. I've been called all of these things that obviously Jay has said about Trisha. It's never really got into me, but seeing somebody else being called that for some reason, like, y'all, my heart just palpitated right now. I don't know why, for some reason, I even got goosebumps. It just makes me feel so bad. Like, I don't know why, I just never want to see anybody get hurt, or just the way that this fool talked to her, it was just so insane to me. I was like, oh my gosh, like, we are back into high school, you know? It's just such a trip. But anyways, I'm rambling on about so many things, and obviously we need to go and get into the video. Like I said, this is going to be a long one. I have a whole lot of opinions about this, and there's just so many key factors to talk about within this. So this is like a totally different style video of mine, but we're gonna go ahead and try something new here, only because there is just so many things to talk about. So if you guys are interested in that, of course, go to keep on watching. If y'all are new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that, and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, y'all, to start this off, I'm gonna go ahead and watch a little bit of the Why I'm Scared of Jeffree and Hair by Jay video. I'm sure you guys have all heard about this by now. However, I do have some thoughts and opinions about this. This low-key to me was kind of shocking. Honestly, I was just kind of like, how old are these people? And like all this type of drama that is going on, it literally took me back to high school, and I was like, this is just so ridiculous. And the things that Hair by Jay said about Trisha Paytas was just so vile and so crazy. Y'all, I have not seen somebody talk about somebody like that in literally since high school. It was just so like, what? Like, are we a bunch of kids here? I don't get it. And I do want to say, though, at the end of the day, because I know there's a lot of people out there who don't like Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas is problematic. Trisha Paytas has done a lot of wrong. However, I do not feel like she deserves this. I genuinely don't. And this is where I'm like, yeah, I feel really, really bad for her, honestly. However, say what you want about Trisha Paytas, I don't think that she deserves to be talked to this way. And why he went off like that, who even knows? But anyway, so let's go ahead and start this video right here, and we're going to start it off by seeing his live video. And if you have not seen that live video, I will be playing a small portion of it right here, obviously right on this video. But
you know what these motherfuckers are? And I know normally you don't like to speak up on nobody. They're lucky that Jeffree's actually a nice person.
Let me go ahead and pause this too. Okay, starting off right here where he says they're lucky that Jeffree is a nice person. I want to tell you guys, and I've said this before, for those of you who have not been on my live videos before, everyone always asks like, oh, out of what social media influencers have you met? You know, because I used to be invited to a lot of makeup parties, right? For Makeup Geek, Makeup Forever, LA Splash, LA Girl, like just different cosmetic brands. I've been invited to their parties, FabFitFun as well too. Out of all the influencers, and I'm telling you, I pretty much met them all. I think the only one I have not met is Jaclyn Hill. Jeffree Star genuinely was the nicest. Like, it's so crazy to me that Jeffree is the way that he is, because I met him, I think, a total about 4 or 5 times, and he literally was just so nice. So I get what he's saying on that, because I know everyone's just like, oh my gosh, you know, he's just so evil, which, you know, maybe there's some truth to that. But I just want to say it is kind of trippy though that he really has been so nice. I don't get it. Maybe he's really good at being fake, I guess. I don't know.
They're taking advantage that Jeffree's not about airing people out anymore. Okay? That he's not about airing people out anymore. He's lucky he's a nice person.
I don't even know why you would do this on live. Like,
a private jet.
Knowing that this is going to cause Jeffree some problems.
And you're right, but you were such a boring time.
Such a boring time. So he wants her there for her entertainment. I don't get it. You know what, let me pause this again. If you guys did not see before, there has been videos made about this. A guy, Tab, came forward and talked about this whole Vegas situation, and y'all, apparently it was a huge mess. It was just kind of like a whole bunch of mean girl mentality. The guy, Tab, I believe I did a video on this literally 1 year ago at this point. I'm pretty sure it was that long ago. And he was basically coming forward and saying, hey, they said this about you. And this guy right here, Hair by Jay, literally confirms that it was all true, and that what Jeffree Star said during that time, making fun of her weight and her skin, he confirmed that it was true. Jay is literally confirming that it's true. So all the Jeffree stands out there, I totally get it. I know every single time that I do a video where I have a difference of opinion when it comes to Jeffree Star, I get so much hate, but the proof is there, you know, so just Jeffree's just, Jeffree's not a good person.
We talked about your skin. What your skin looks like till this day, a whole year later.
Let me pause it right there, y'all. This, to me, honestly, low-key was kind of shocking. Like, I thought that we have moved past this point in society to stop shaming people for their skin, for their weight, for their, you know, physical looks, you know. Whenever you want to talk about somebody and their personality traits and their characteristics, I feel like that's very important to obviously talk about. When it comes to somebody's physical appearance, I just feel like that is just so grimy. And honestly, I feel like it's just dumb, you know. Like, that's literally all you have to say about somebody. I feel like it's the most easy thing is to attack somebody's physical appearance. And it's just kind of like, look at yourself. There's a lot of things that we can obviously all sit here and critique him on about his looks, and you have the nerve, you have the audacity to go and say these things about her. Like, it's so crazy. I don't get it. This is mind-boggling to me. I'm like, what?
Maybe she should go on a diet and get lipo on her motherfucking brain, because maybe all that fat is fucking up her brain. All right?
I mean, he is, watching this again, this is my second time watching this, and watching this again, literally, it makes my hands shake. I cannot stand people like this, y'all. Like, I do not get what you get out of talking down on somebody. It literally does not make any sense to me at all. Like, do you feel high and mighty? Do you feel better? Do you feel prettier? I don't get it. Like, why are you gonna go and attack her like this? If you want to go ahead and kind of, you know, make a video where you're stating your, you know, point of view, go right on ahead. Obviously, Trisha Paytas did open up the door. She did talk about this because it was her experience that happened in Vegas, and she did bring up Hair by Jay within her video. She did it first, so I do feel like it is right for him to go ahead and go out there and speak his piece. However, coming at her like this is just like, what? He literally proved everything that Trisha Paytas said. Literally proved it all. That they're a whole bunch of mean girls. They have that mean girl mentality. That's exactly what it is.
They were fat shaming me,
and you're still fat shaming her.
And I couldn't pay.
Let me tell you, guys like this are the literal reason. For those of you that are new to my channel and did not know, I created a series on my Instagram, Facebook, here even on YouTube years ago, and this is actually what I went viral for. It was called FBF, stood for Fat Bitch Friday, and this literally was to empower all of my big guys and girls out there, and it was basically meant to just empower your flaws, because obviously I had been called fat my whole entire life, and I wanted to take power with that word and create something online that everyone can obviously feel safe and feel comfortable, and let's stop giving power to the word fat. You know what I'm saying? It's people like him that really made me do this, because there's so many people like this that are just so like fatophobic. Is that even a word? I don't know, but that's what I feel like he's like. And it's just like, oh my gosh, you got your flaws too, so how can you come up on here and be like this? It's just so gross. Everyone has their flaws. I don't care what. Nobody is perfect. And for you speaking like this, ugh.
You know what pisses me off? That I actually liked her.
Well, you liked her, but you said she's negative and she's boring and she was a boring time. Which one is it?
Uncomfortable, was so negative to her. But afterwards, don't forget to say, but I got to fly to Vegas because that person paid for a
this is, let me pause again. I am so, y'all, this video is going to be real long. I just have so many things to say about this. This is infuriating to me because obviously, if you guys did not know, Trisha Paytas in 1 month makes over $1 million, okay? From OnlyFans, YouTube, TikTok, her sponsorships, over $1 million a month. Yes, she is not as rich as Jeffree. I believe they had said recently, like, Jeffree's worth, like, I don't know, like $500 million, right? Yes, Jeffree is stacked. However, Trisha Paytas has her own money, and if you guys watch Trisha Paytas, watch her videos, because I know, yes, I say it time and time again, I feel like Trisha Paytas is my guilty pleasure. She is pretty dramatic. She is pretty problematic. However, I've watched her videos multiple times, and you can see within her videos, she's a very, very giving person, a very generous person. So she has the money. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why this guy Jay is holding this over her head like she needs to bow down to Jeffree just because he paid for the private jet and paid for her room. He probably does that to make his own ego boosted. You know what I'm saying? To make himself feel better about himself. Like, I got it like that. He's probably not even doing it out of like generosity. He's just kind of doing it to like prove a point. Like, hey, I got money. See it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why he's going on about that as if Trisha Paytas is some homeless person living on the street who ain't got no money. It's like she has money. So, bye.
So awful to me on this Vegas trip a year ago, and like watching this is so triggering for so many reasons. Like, I'm actually shaking
You know what? Let me pause again. I wish, you know, obviously I know everyone just has different emotions and this is probably hitting her different, but I genuinely wish that this wouldn't, I wish that she wouldn't have gave them that type of reaction. You know what I'm saying? I wish that she would have just went out there and been like, you know what? I got this in the bag. It's all good. Threw a little bit of shade at them. Came out here, made her video. But the fact that, you know, she's obviously emotionally distressed over this, I feel like it gives them the upper hand, like, huh, they do have the power, because these type of people like Jay, they want that. They want to see somebody hurt. They want to see somebody crying. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even give them that satisfaction. But I get it. Everyone is different. I'm just speaking from me and my opinion. I would have got up on there and spoke my piece and threw some shade back at them if you want to come at me like that, you know? So I wish that she wouldn't have been crying like this. But like I said, everyone's different.
Like Ryland boasting him up, boasting how great Jeffree is and everything. He's an actual monster. I tried to keep it in for so long.
Yep, stop right there again. Like she just said, Ryland always bragging about Jeffree and stuff like this. I genuinely feel there's a sense of fear within Shane and Ryland. I don't want to talk about it too much right now because we will go ahead and get into the Trisha Paytas video where she's talking about Shane and Ryland. However, I do feel like they really put Jeffree up on a pedestal, and I understand because of Jeffree, like Shane made millions of dollars off of the conspiracy collection. However, what they need to stop and realize too is Jeffree in return also made millions of dollars off the conspiracy collection. So why they keep on putting Jeffree on this pedestal is so beyond me, and I genuinely have come to the conclusion that people genuinely are scared of Jeffree. I don't get it. I don't know what he holds over them. I don't know the type of power that he possesses. Yes, I know money is power these days. I get it. However, why is everyone so scared? Because it really does suck. It seemed like Ryland and Shane were really good-hearted people. Yes, I know Shane has done and said a whole lot of messed up things, but if you guys watch his videos, you could see that there's like a big heart there. And after this situation, it completely changed my mind about Shane. Completely. I was like, okay, you're a fraud.
Because he goes on in the video to say, like, the house I live in now is rented. I never said I owned it. Which, you know, that was their mean girl stuff, that I couldn't afford stuff, that they threw my Balenciaga in the trash, that they gave away and begged to rich lugs.
This is so trippy to me that Jeffree is sitting there. Okay, and look, Jeffree being shady and him being, you know, he's so boosted by his own ego. I could see how Jeffree could be talking trash on other people, like, they're so broke, they're so this, they're so that. But how can, you know, the makeup artist and the hairstylist be trying to talk like that too, when Trisha Paytas probably has more money than them put together, more money than Boom, and more money than Hair by Jay put together? So how can they really be with that type of mentality? You know what I'm saying? What I personally feel, this is just my opinion, obviously I have no proof of this, I'm just speculating, but I feel like Jeffree kind of like sets the flow and they just go along with it. You know what I mean? Like he'll talk trash first and then they'll just go ahead and get on it, and that to me is just so crazy. I hate that type of mentality, and it's just kind of like, I get it, he's your boss, you know, because he's obviously paying you, and I'm sure that he pays them really, really good. However, have some morals, have some human decency, you know what I'm saying? Like, talking about she's broke because she rents her house, and do y'all know, literally in Long Beach, okay, I live in Long Beach, it is literally like $2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment a month, okay, for an apartment, a little old apartment. So it's kind of like, if she rents, oh well, and what? Like, so stupid. Oh, back to him. Oh, 2021 is already starting off real crazy, honestly, with people like that. Ew.
Show your fucking disfigured ass. Disfigured ass. For once.
Okay, let me pause again. How does talking about her anatomy, we'll keep it real PG, how does that have to do with anything about her, you know, not paying you on time, or her, you know, being mad about your services? What does this have to do with you being a hairstylist and her being the client? What does that have to do with anything? I don't get it. And honestly, y'all, this type of stuff like this, I gotta keep it real. When I used to work at Mac, so many people would be like, oh my gosh, like, I've always been scared or nervous to get my makeup done because my skin is really bad, or because, you know, I'm really chunky. Like, I just never wanted to get my makeup done because I feel like people would be talking about me. And I'm like, that's so crazy. And that's how, you know, obviously somebody installed this in their brain that people are talking trash about them. Would anybody ever feel comfortable to go to this guy to get their hair done? Like, literally, I don't know a single person that would go to him and get their hair done after this, because obviously he's going to talk trash about you behind your back, and who wants that? You want to go get your hair done, your makeup done, to feel good, to feel glamorous, to like have a confidence boost, and he's saying stuff like this? Like, I don't get it. I don't care what. When it comes to makeup and hair, it's all about hospitality. You know what I'm saying? We're put out there to obviously make people feel good. And here you are knocking people down and hitting some really low blows. Like, talking about her anatomy. Like, what? Like, I don't get it.
I offered to pay his assistant money for the hotel room. I had no interest in seeing Mariah Carey. They didn't even get us tickets. They got me and Jay tickets last minute because they're like, oh, come, which was nice, but I didn't want any of it. I didn't ask for any of it, and they offered to pay for the room.
I'm sure she definitely offered money too. I bet you the hairstylist didn't offer money.
That's what, like, Jeffree has to hold over
he ain't
people.
got
Like,
it.
I pay for all this shit and stuff like that. It's so disgusting and gross to me. And then the fact that, like, all of this, I already knew from, like, reaching for a nacho and Jeffree slapping my hand and saying, don't eat, and, like, just constantly,
to
like,
me,
if I asked for, like, the...
I was shook, y'all. Like, I wonder if that is, like, really, really true. Because, like, I say it time and time again, there are some things, obviously, that Trisha Paytas does say that are true. But there are some things that are just so completely fabricated that it makes it very, very hard to know what she is talking about. I 100% obviously know that Jeffree and Jay were completely talking trash about her appearance. Obviously, we know that. That's a fact at this point. However, if somebody ever smacked a nacho out of my hand or told me not to eat... oh, we're gonna scrap. Like, for real. Like, you just don't do that. That, to me, is just so belittling and so degrading. Like, how are you gonna go and do that if it is true? Obviously, we don't have any proof on that, so I really don't want to speculate too much on it. But given the way that they act and just their mentality and just so, they're just so vile, I could really see it happening. I could really see Jeffree doing that. Like, that to me is so grimy. Like, ugh. No wonder why Jeffree can't keep a friend.
Jeffree and his group are mean girl shit, and I'm so tired of people just, like, defending him and supporting him, because this is disgusting. Like, I've never once in my life felt so scared.
This is, okay, to add on to her point right here, to where she says that people are constantly defending him and supporting him, this is what I do not get, okay? This is the most trippy thing to me, that if you guys really look at things, and I've said it time and time again, we have these conversations all the time, let's separate the makeup from the person, okay? Because if we're talking about makeup, I can see why the support is there, but there is millions upon millions of people who support Jeffree for the person that he is, and this to me is a trip, and it's just so shocking to me, because I'm like, y'all, how many people does he need to go through? Literally, how many people does he need to go through in order for people to realize that clearly he is the problem and he's not going to change? And this is the thing about it too. I don't know if you guys remember when his whole past had came forward. If you guys were on my channel, I stopped purchasing his makeup for 2 years, literally 2 years, because I was like, ugh, like, no, that's just disgusting. However, I thought that I saw growth within him. I thought that he changed as a person, and then the whole truth came out about the whole I was gonna say James Star, the whole James Charles and Shane Dawson and Tati situation. The whole truth had came out that he pretty much orchestrated that whole entire thing, and that's when I was like, you know what? He's not changing as a person. He's genuinely not changing as a person. This is who he is. And I just don't understand how people can continue moving forward and saying, oh my God, Jeffree's an angel. Jeffree so this, Jeffree so that. And it's like, what? Because he donates, you know, thousands upon thousands of dollars. You guys feel like that makes him a good person? Like, it's so crazy. I have said it before in the past too. I said, yes, like, I feel like he's doing a lot of charitable things. Even if he's doing it with the wrong intent, hey, at least he's donating money, and I think that that is very nice, and that is a good, you know, thing of him to do. That doesn't make him a good person, though. You know what I'm saying? Because just look at his track record with every single person that he's been through. I'm sorry, y'all. I've had my friends in my life since I was 15, 16 years old, and we're still friends till this day. If you cannot keep a friend and you're going through every single influencer out there and you can't keep any friends with them and they all have negative stories to tell about you, it's time to start owning up to you are the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I just don't get it, like, anymore, how anybody can really support him. I don't see it.
And I'm scared. I am scared. Jay is constantly making threats on here. He said in real life that he would, like, beat the shit out of people. Like, it's scary as shit. I'm terrified of this shit.
Person and about people a whole year later after an event happened. First of all, I should sue you, because when you go to court, right, and you wait a whole year later to sue the person, guess the court looks at you like, why did you wait 12 months to say something?
This mentality is so stupid. 9 times out of 10 people wait that long of a time is because after it happened, they're too scared to speak out about it. Especially being Trisha Paytas has been canceled so many times on the internet. Of course, she's not going to get out there and be like, oh my gosh, this happened, this happened, this happened, because Jeffree is more popular than her. Jeffree is more rich than her. So obviously she is going to have a little bit of fear like, oh my gosh, if I speak out against Jeffree, I'm just going to completely get bashed on the internet. So how can you not see? That's why she waited to speak up about it. Obviously, she distanced herself from Jeffree and was like, okay, you know what? Clearly, I know he is not my friend. I do not like him. Let me distance myself. So obviously, you start getting comfortable with being like, you know what? We're not friends at all. I don't care. Now I'm going to speak my piece. You know, I'm going to speak my truth. Like what? Like, I don't think she's just bringing this up out of nowhere just for attention. Obviously, on the Frenemies podcast, they talk about these types of things. So obviously, it's going to be talked about. So the fact that he's coming on here and making it seem like Trisha Paytas is just talking about this stuff for like clout, when it's like, fool, she's way more popular than you. So I mean, come on now, stop.
I waited so long to say something because, like, that's Shane's friend, and I was like, I was scared. Like, the original DMs that came out between me and this other guy that made an exposed video on Jeffree, the guy that hung out with us in Vegas, the guy that just came to me with video footage of them talking shit about me, like really horrible, nasty shit. I was scared. I was scared because I know everyone who goes against Jeffree, like, it's like canceled, like, you know.
So see, if you guys listen to right here, obviously it does make sense why she obviously didn't bring up the whole entire thing. I totally get it. I know a lot of people are out there saying like, why are you bringing it up now? Oh, you're looking for clout. You're looking for this. Trisha Paytas is always doing things for attention. Let me tell you, y'all know this. If you guys watch her, she does this. If this was truly the case, she would have done it right then and there, because everyone had known on social media that they did go to Vegas. You know, they were posting obviously on their stories and stuff like this. It would have been the perfect time for her to do it right after the trip. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand this whole mentality of why are you bringing it up a year later? If you look at the actual things, yes, Shane and Rylan were going to get married. Of course, you know, they probably would invite Jeffree. Things really do make sense as to why she didn't say it, you know? I just don't get it, and I just don't understand why Shane is so adamant on sticking by him. It's kind of like, you already made your money. You got the money in the bank. Like, why do you feel the need to, you know, stand by him and like ride or die for him? It makes me wonder, what does Jeffree have on Shane? You know, is there something out there that he's holding over Shane's head? I just feel like at this point, you know, it's looking that way.
Such waste to this world for us to have to deal with. That's bitch like that is what's because not even the vultures want her.
He literally is saying that Trisha Paytas is the problem of the world, but then look at him, you know? And look, I'm not going to sit over here and act like Trisha Paytas is, you know, some saint, because let's keep it really real. She is not. Trisha Paytas does a whole lot of wrong, and she is very, very problematic. However, look at this. You know what I'm saying? So how do you get out there and say, oh, not even the vultures want her? Fool, not even the vultures want you, you know? Like, I just don't get it.
If they called her right now, if Jeffree called her right now, or we called her right now, hey, come hang out with us tomorrow, she'll come.
His face.
Jeffree has called me multiple times and I refuse to talk. I texted him and said I need time to process. I need space. I will never want.
Hold on. Okay, before we even get into the tweets right here, okay, maybe it's time. I think that we watched enough of this video. Maybe it's time to go ahead and get into these tweets, because Hair by Jay is going to go out there and say, oh, if Jeffree hit her up tomorrow, then she would be there. Basically saying like, oh, she's trying to be all buddy-buddy with Jeffree because, you know, he's famous and he's rich and she wants to, you know, kind of latch on to that clout. Well, Jeffree Star did come out and say, this is what he said, because Trisha Paytas tweeted, if you didn't want to be involved in the drama, why is he speaking on your name speaking your name in the video on your behalf, confirming all of the horrid S you guys said about me, question mark, question mark. And this is what he quote tweets to that. You've ignored all my messages and texts for months. 4 months. Yet want to have an internet circus with an audience, question mark. No, thank you. Love you, girl. You can call or text me anytime. And it's kind of like, okay, I know that there's a lot of people out there who are probably thinking like, okay, this is him extending the olive branch. No, this is him being low-key condescending and obviously trying to paint a good face to social media and be like, well, I've tried to reach out to you. When it's like, how about you give her a public apology now that it is public? But this is what I said before, time and time again with Jeffree. Every single time that he does something wrong, it's so hard for him to admit that he's wrong. It's so hard for him to just sit there and say, you know what, I did talk trash on her, and honestly, I just thought that I was being funny, but now I really see I was being a mean girl and I was being, you know, a bully. You know what I'm saying? He could very well do that, but does he? No, he doesn't. So let's go ahead and get into some of these tweets right here, because somebody did write out to Jeffree Star and said, if you support what was said to at Trisha Paytas in that video, you are trash. I don't care what kind of money you have. That is mean girl behavior. You need to apologize and fire Hair by Jay. And this is what Jeffree said to that. I have personally apologized to at Trisha Paytas several times last year about Vegas, and she never responded, which is her right. I respected it, and what happened is between us. Don't drag me into new drama. Not interested. What somebody else does not represent me. And that's where I say, I'm sorry, I disagree, because here you are clearly saying that you've apologized to her several times. So clearly you have done something wrong. You have said something wrong to obviously apologize to her. So why not to the public just own up to that? I think there's some type of mentality with Jeffree that he just feels like he always has to be right, you know, and he always has to be above everybody. And it's kind of like, y'all, I literally am like the poster child of always saying, we all mess up. We all do things wrong. We all say things wrong. It's going to happen. Like, that's human nature. We're going to mess up, and we do make mistakes, and sometimes we may offend somebody, and you know, sometimes we think that we're being funny, but we really offend somebody. That's bound to happen. I can see it. But the fact that he continues it on without even, you know, giving a thorough apology to online is just So I'm just going to go ahead and read these other two tweets from Jeffree before we get into the other video that Trisha had came out talking about the whole situation, how she wants to be done with it, as well as Shane Dawson, because I really feel like that whole situation, I have a lot of thoughts and opinions about that. That's why I want to talk about that video as well too. Sorry, this video is just so long, but these are the tweets right here where I'm just kind of like, okay, clearly Jeffree's trying to do some damage control right now. Good morning to everyone except the guy that used to do my hair. Okay. Like, come on. He always posted Hair by Jay. He literally would always be like, you know, wigs by Hair by Jay, like literally. And all of a sudden now he's like, okay, deuces, because obviously he's trying to save his face, because he knows at the end of the day, this is going to make him look bad yet again, because Jeffree's always looking bad. And obviously, like I say 50 million times, there's no smoke without a fire. Clearly, we know at this point, Jeffree is not a good person. We know that he is low-key mean. He's shady. He's so many things, you know. Anyways, so this is what he says right after that. I always hold the people around me accountable. I know that's hard for some people to believe, but I'm a grown-ass man, and 2021 will only be full of good energy. I'm really sorry, but I don't see him holding anybody accountable, because he doesn't even hold himself accountable. Like I literally just said, it's so hard for him to apologize. If y'all follow along with everything, it is super hard for Jeffree to apologize. I don't get it, because I don't know, maybe it's kind of like within him, he feels like it's a sign of weakness to apologize. And it's like, that mentality is so frustrating, because I have known people like that, where it's like, just apologize when you're wrong. It's really not that hard, you know, own up to it, say, yeah, you know what, I do realize I messed up. But clearly he ain't doing that. I do want to say at the end of the day, I'm always going to be hopeful, and I really do hope that he does come forward and actually make an apology about this, because I feel like Trisha really like deserves an apology. And like I just want to keep on emphasizing, I know I've said it already like 3 times within this video, but I want to keep on emphasizing, yes, Trisha is not perfect. She has done so many wrong things, but once again, nobody deserves this type of behavior. And I feel like them talking about her like that just and on top of that too, with Jeffree coming forward and saying that he apologized to her several times, then it's kind of like, obviously you're low-key saying, okay, yes, you did mess up, so why don't you just completely say it publicly, you know? I totally get it that you know, obviously at this point he said, I apologize to her, and there's a lot of people out there who say, well, if he apologized directly to her, that's it. However, now the situation has been made public, so why don't you just own up to it and say, hey, yes, I did this, this, and this. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I personally feel like it would be a little bit easier to own those mistakes and actually say them out loud and say, I did this wrong, and I messed up, and I said this wrong, and I hurt her feelings, and you know what I'm saying? Kind of like acknowledge it, but I know that ain't gonna happen. But anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this other video. I'm just gonna go ahead and play a little portion of this so I can give you guys my thoughts and opinions about Trisha Paytas and Shane Dawson, because I was really expecting Shane throughout these past couple days to come forward and, you know, just kind of have her back, because Trisha Paytas has had Shane's back so many times, and clearly we know now that that is not the case with Shane. I just feel like, you know, Shane just doesn't have the balls. Honestly, in my honest opinion, let me just keep it really blunt, he just doesn't have it. I feel like he is genuinely scared of Jeffree as well too. So anyways, let's go ahead and watch a little portion of this video.
I'm so
tired of everyone.
I wonder
being
if
like,
this
everything's
wig
fine,
is one of
get
the ones
over
styled
it,
by Hair by
all this stuff,
Jay.
because the truth is I'm not over it. It's why I still talk about it yearly.
Is that why
It
she's
was
wearing it?
one of the most traumatizing things ever, like the mean girl behavior. And again, I didn't say anything for so long because like I knew Shane was friends with Jeffree, and Shane would call me and be like, don't make a video, it'll make things worse. Like, and now like looking back, I see like he had told me originally that he also was scared of Jeffree and was slowly distancing himself.
See, I believe her right there where she says that he's slowly distancing himself from Jeffree, because if y'all did not notice within the past year, they kind of like, okay, say like happy birthday to each other and kind of like post their collaboration here and there. However, you can obviously tell that they really have not been that close like they were during the whole conspiracy theory infomercial, you know? During that time, obviously they were really close, and then after everything had happened, especially in June, it's kind of like, oh, everything hit the fan, and then what? And then also during that, I want to note, this is what makes me so mad about this situation, is Trisha Paytas literally had Shane's back. No one else had his back. No one else was actually getting out there and speaking on his behalf and saying good things about him. Jeffree Star never came forward and said anything. And the fact that Shane Dawson literally is just like crickets over there, I don't get it. Like, how can you not see that your girl had your back to the whole public? She made multiple videos about it when the whole Tati situation had came out. Jeffree didn't say anything. When Shane was going through his 2020 cancellation, Jeffree didn't say anything. He didn't have his back in any type of way, you know? That's why I say I don't get it.
Okay.
I don't get it.
And then I see him on the Sip, Ryland's podcast, not once, but twice, as recent as last week, them just gushing over him and praising him. When Jeffree Star, in my opinion, is a really nasty, vile person.
Yep,
like,
clearly.
I know people can like say, okay, Trisha's a troll, or like people do like shitty things online or have bad behavior, but when it's repeated bad behavior and like it's an apology, but then it's just more nasty shit, the most vile shit has come out even more. I'm not one but two people that were on that Vegas trip with us that were not on Jeffree's payroll, and it's like disgusting things. And they both, they're two separate entities, they don't know each other. They both told me the exact same nasty shit. Jeffree was talking shit about me all the way up until me getting a Rolls Royce, thinking that I wanted to be him, talking shit about me and my OnlyFans.
How does her getting a Rolls Royce equate to her wanting to be Jeffree? Is Jeffree Star the god of Rolls Royce now? I don't get it. How many other celebrities and influencers out there have a Rolls Royce? This is what I say about Jeffree. Like, I just genuinely don't understand it. He has some problems that he just needs to work on, because for him to be talking trash on her, like, you should be happy for your friend. If my friend got a freaking $600,000 Rolls Royce SUV, oh my gosh, y'all, I would be praising them like, you get it, girl. And he's over here being a hater. That's exactly what he is. Like, oh, she wants to be me. Oh my God, give it up. Stop. What? Because she got hers in pink, she loves pink too. You're not the only person out there in the world that likes pink. You know what I mean? This situation, something else.
So messed up to me and so evil. And what's so evil is that he's doing this like behind closed doors and like telling people and like planting seeds. He's like this cult leader. And that's why Jay, you know, he's like, oh, Jay doesn't
listen to what she said about planting seeds, because that's actually what had came down with the whole Tati situation. If you guys go and look at Tati's video, it really did come across as Jeffree was planting the seeds in their heads to take down James Charles. And yes, I've said it before, like, I feel like James Charles is kind of like uppity, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he is arrogant. They said some truth about James, let's keep it real. However, planning a whole like takedown on him, I really feel like Jeffree did plant those seeds in Tati's and Shane's head, but that's just my opinion. There's no truth to that, obviously.
I know, you know this is the shit they're talking to each other, and because that's the shit they were talking to me about me there. And then the first person, his name's Tabs, and Tab has a video out, and I think it was re-uploaded. Tab was the first person to come forward with this. The second person, I don't really know if he wants to be involved, but the second person to come with me and being like, he said some nasty all through last year, and I was biting my tongue because Shane was like saying like, oh, even up until the last time I saw Shane, he's like, oh yeah, Jeffree's just really lonely and no friend. Jeffree's evil up until this last freaking tweet he sent me.
She's saying right here that Shane said, oh, Jeffree's really lonely. Clearly he created that. Jeffree obviously can have all the friends in the entire world. Look at the whole entire beauty community. He's literally went through them all, stopped being friends with them all, had big old blow-ups with every single one of them. Clearly that is Jeffree's doing. So I don't understand why Shane is over here backing up Jeffree, saying, oh my gosh, he's so lonely. Like, just let it go. Just don't talk about it. It's like, what? Like, if he is out there talking trash about her and spreading these lies, about Trisha behind her back, she has every right to talk about it. So I don't see, like, I'm sorry, y'all, but when it comes to me and my friends would have my back with this whole situation. And first of all, let me just keep it really real. My friends wouldn't even be around, you know what I'm saying, like, to deal with that type of stuff. They would be like, hold up, why are you talking about my friend that way? They would go and confront the person for me. You get what I'm saying? As to where Shane's over here, don't say anything, just let it go. Jeffree's really lonely, like, I'll feel bad for him. No, he created this, you know what I'm saying? He's making his bed and he's lying in it. That's just the way that it is at this point. I don't understand why Shane would go and do this. I think that this whole situation has really changed my mind. Y'all have asked me before, like, will you support Shane in the future? And I said, you know what? I feel like everybody makes mistakes. Everybody can work through those. What he did was completely horrible and wrong. Those were all really just out of line, nasty jokes, you know what I'm saying? If you could even call them jokes, I don't know. But what he did was really, really wrong. However, I do feel like I saw changed behavior within him, because all those videos in the past I had never seen, but guess what? They were from years ago. So that means there was a change, you know what I mean? But now, throughout this whole situation and seeing how he is with Trisha, and you know what's really crazy is, yes, I do watch Trisha's videos, but I'm not like a big old Trisha Paytas fan. Like, no, I'm kind of like, I say it every single time. I watch Trisha Paytas because I feel like I know this is such a bad, like, analogy, if that's the correct word for this. Is like watching her is like watching a train wreck. I know that that's like really, really bad to say, but that's the best thing that could come out of my mouth. I don't know how to describe what I mean, but like watching her is like, it's so entertaining, and you just like the stories that she has, you know what I'm saying? And everything that comes out of her mouth is just very entertaining. So I'm no like big Trisha Paytas fan, but I'm over here like, how could you not support her? Like, that has been your girl for so many years. She got ordained just to marry you guys. You know what I mean? She was supposed to be like the best man or the best woman. You know what I mean? I just I don't know. I changed my mind about Shane, honestly.
Jeffree saying, love you, like going back and forth and then just ending it with like, you have my number. I'm not doing this internet charade. Love you, girl. So condescending for being traumatized. And what really set me off today, and I will no longer support Shane in any way. I'm not gonna
that is so crazy for her to actually say on video. Y'all, 2021 is out to a trip. Her actually saying on videos that she's not going to support Shane is just such a trip, because go back to her videos and she has never spoken badly about Shane. Never, not once. She has had his back more than anybody else on YouTube, more than anybody else. And for Trisha Paytas to be saying this, I feel like it does say a whole lot, and it does say Shane is just so like in the wrong here, you know?
Even today, I was so beyond having him on the podcast and stuff and telling me one thing, being like, I'm scared of him too. I gotta slowly distance myself, but like, don't make a video, like all that stuff, to like praising him on the podcast.
Oh, hold on. I just have to say right here, if I was Trisha, I would lose it. I have gotten into some things before with my friends, because when they slightly like play both sides of the fence, or like they'll tell one person what they want to hear and then tell another person what they want to hear, I'm like, hold up, stay true to your opinion and keep it that way, and say it to each person. You know what I'm saying? This is where I look at Shane and I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh, like, grow up. You know what I mean? Grow up. Keep your opinion real. Stop acting so scared of Jeffree. That's what I'm saying. I go back to, I really feel like Jeffree is holding something over Shane. I feel like he has something on him that is really making Shane be like, oh my God, you know? Or maybe he just really feels like Jeffree stands. And I've said this time and time again. It's so crazy, y'all. I have always said positive things about Jeffree Star Cosmetics, because when it comes to his brand, I really do love the aesthetics and the collections that he comes out with. I've always said that. But whenever it comes out to me saying anything negative about Jeffree as a person, I get attacked like nothing else. And I said this time and time again, multiple videos y'all can go back to. Every Jeffree Star video that I have, I always make a comment in it that sometimes I don't even want to talk about Jeffree on my channel anymore, because I get so attacked, y'all. And I never get attacked about any of my opinions or thoughts, because the way that I present my opinions and stuff like that is in a very non-negative, like hurtful way. You know what I'm saying? So even if it is a negative, like, you know, opinion about it, I still say it in the best way the best way possible, because I just feel like that is appropriate to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even want to be like spreading more negativity to it. You know what I'm saying? And I still get so much hate from the Jeffree Star stans. Maybe that's what Shane is scared of too. I don't know, but it's kind of like Shane has a whole lot of subscribers too, a whole lot of stans. So it's just kind of like, you have your support, so what are you so scared of? This whole situation, y'all, is something else. Oh my gosh.
Told me today, oh, I guess I just wanted to believe the stuff you said about, that Jeffree said about you wasn't true. And
I just wanted to believe it wasn't true. Oh, if my friend told me that, y'all, I would snap. I would snap. That's no friend.
Like, smacking food out out of my hand, calling me like saying I'm poor and all this stuff. It's like so triggering. And I know I'm 32 and stuff, but like
You know what? Okay, how do I say this without sounding mean? If Jeffree Star, okay, talks all this trash on Trisha Paytas, who sometimes she gets really dolled up, you know, yes, there are a lot of times where she gets on camera really raw, and I like that. I love that she's just like, you know what, this is me, whatever, I'm getting on camera. But there's a lot of times that she gets all dolled up, hair, makeup, glam, full everything, you know? If Jeffree Star talks trash on her, what makes Shane Dawson not think that he's talking trash about him? Because let's keep it real, Shane, sometimes he be looking a little bit rough, you know what I mean? Like, if you guys head on over to, what is that, like, peopleofwalmart.com or something like that, he looks like he would be in People of Walmart. And I know that sounds really rude, but I'm trying to describe his, like, y'all know what I'm trying to get at, right? Like, with his physical appearance, with the way he, like, dresses and everything. You know what I'm saying? If he's saying all this about Trisha, what is he saying about Shane? Like, does he not think that Jeffree is talking trash about him too? Like, come on.
You invited me on a trip to make fun of me? And what is just more sad to me is that Shane didn't believe me. His friend of 12 years. And believe someone that he's known for 3 or 4 years that used Shane.
This is a sad part, but let's talk about this right here. Because she's saying that what makes her really sad is that Shane, her friend of 12 years, did not believe her. But this is where I want to say, I can actually see in the beginning, okay, in the beginning, let me just emphasize on that. I can see how he could be like, okay, like, I don't really believe her, is because, let's keep it real, Trisha Paytas does blow everything out of proportion. She does make everything so much bigger than what it is, and she is very, very dramatic, and she does make a lot of things up. She does so many things, like, that you don't even know if it's real or not, if this is for clout, this is for attention. I just made a video, like, what was it, like, I don't know, a week ago or so, where she was quitting social media, and she was back literally the next day. And when they were talking about it on the Frenemies podcast, she was like, oh, that was just troll Trish. Like, what, like, girl, how do we know what to believe? So in the beginning, I could totally understand, and I could see how Shane could say, well, you know, I didn't know if it was true. But now that he actually seen everything, and how the guy Hair by Jay came out and, you know, said all this about her, now you know that it's the truth, you know? So why aren't you having her back now that you see that it's true? Because like I said, 100% I could see how he could be like, you know what? No, she makes a lot of things up. She's dramatic. Like, nah. But now that you've actually seen it, it's there. So why not have her back?
I'm just making this video to truly move on. Like, truly. Like, I want nothing. I don't want an apology. I don't want anything. Jeffree has apologized to me via text, and like I said, I have a bad taste in my mouth from him. I didn't choose to accept the apology. I still don't, because it's not sincere, because he continues to tell people that I'm on drugs and just a really gross that I don't know if Shane's telling him this stuff because I opened up to Shane about my shit.
Ooh, oh my gosh. Shane is looking pretty shady.
Because I heard the whole herpes thing from Gabby came from Shane.
That one to me was shocking. Okay. Though, if y'all know, I didn't do any videos about this. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like just really, really messy. Gabby Hanna had came forward and said, you know, some things about Trisha, and, you know, she may have had an STD and whatnot when she was dating Jason Nash and all that good stuff. Now she's saying right now that supposedly she may have heard that from Shane. That to me is so crazy. Honestly, if you, like, it's crazy to me that, like, she's talking about this type of stuff right now, because it's like, okay, so wait, you've heard all these things and you continuously just, like, be friends with him. If I heard that, like, I would be like, what? Because clearly he's out there spreading lies and misinformation about me, to where Gabby's obviously going to go and put this out to the public. And it's like, that whole thing was a big old drama. I don't know if you guys knew about that, but oh my gosh, it was all over the place. And now her saying that Shane could have been at the root of that, it's like, well, why did you continue being friends with him? Because if you heard him talk trash about you, or, you know, you've heard people say that he talks trash about you for years, and then now the whole Gabby STD situation, you continuously be friends with him after this? I don't get it. All right, y'all. So that is it for that video. I feel like we have talked about it enough. I do want to go ahead and read a tweet about this too, because there was a lot of people coming forward and actually saying Shane Dawson and Ryland Adams unfollowed Trisha Paytas on Instagram. So this obviously was making them look super bad. It's like, hold up. You guys are still following Hair by Jay, or Shane Dawson still following Hair by Jay, but you unfollowed Trisha Paytas? Like, that just looks super shady. So she actually did come out here and she did say, Shane and Ryland didn't unfollow me. just to set the record straight, I blocked them. There's no malice behind it. I did it for my own peace. It's not drama. It's a very personal situation. I want to move on. So speculation can stop as to why they unfollowed. They didn't. And she did say within this video that she actually blocked them and then like unfollowed them, so that way obviously they would unfollow her in return. So that was the whole thing of it. So I feel like that's still actually very nice of her, because if she wanted to paint them in a very bad light, she could have just said, no, yeah, they unfollowed me. But no, she said, no, I unfollowed them, then blocked them. So that way, obviously, it looked as if they did unfollow her, but that's not the case. So I do say at the end of the day, she's still, you know, trying to not make them look bad, even though I will say within this video, she did make Shane look pretty bad. And obviously anybody who has watched this video is going to be questioning right now, like, wow, did Shane really put these rumors out about her to Gabby, and this started so much stuff, you know? And the whole, oh my gosh, the whole Jeffree thing, I just don't understand it. Maybe you guys can shed some light onto me. Like, I really don't get it. They barely had became friends. They have been friends for years now. And obviously Shane has said before to Trisha, and she's mentioned this before, that Shane is scared of Jeffree. So why continue on? Like, I just don't get it. What does he have on Shane to where he can't come forward and defend Trisha? I don't get it. But this whole situation was a complete mess. Y'all let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions on it. My thoughts and opinions are still kind of just so all over the place, because yes, I do know there's that side of me that's like, okay, keep it real. Trisha Paytas does lie about a lot of things. However, we obviously had seen within this whole thing, Jeffree obviously is just very vile. Hair by Jay, super vile. And then looking now at the whole Shane situation, it's kind of like, wow, like I never saw that coming. I really didn't. And to be really honest with you guys, like straight up, when I had first seen that video, I was like, okay, Shane's gonna come forward and like have her back, because she had his back publicly so many times and he did not. It was literal crickets over there. Nothing from Shane, and everyone on the internet is like, okay, Shane, now it's your time to like speak up and defend your friend, and he still couldn't do it. And everyone on the internet actually came forward and said this would be a good opportunity for you to obviously have kind of like a, you know, hero cape and be like, okay, you're gonna come and save the day and have her back against Jeffree, because clearly we all know at this point now Shane knows what's up with Jeffree. Shane knows how he is, and clearly they have distanced themselves, obviously, because Shane really knows that Jeffree is just not the best person in the world, you know? So it just really would have been a good opportunity for him to come forward and support his friend, and clearly that didn't happen, and it won't happen. I think that that's just very messed up. I mean, there's a side of me that I totally understand that Shane just wants to be like, you know what, I'm out of it. You guys have your problems. I'm so tired of the drama, because Shane has went through so many cancellations. I get that, but this is your friend we're talking about here, a real life friend, not just a social media friend. They've been friends for over 12 years, like Trisha says. So I don't know. I just don't get it. Throughout this whole entire situation, I just want to say I'm thankful for all my friends, y'all. Like, I am so thankful, because this has never happened. I don't think it ever will happen. Like, my friends are super, super loyal and have my back no matter what. And this just makes me really, really grateful, because now I'm just like, ugh, people are really, really grimy, you know? But yeah, also, what do you guys think about Jeffree coming forward and saying, basically like now throwing Jay underneath the bus? Do you guys feel like he's just like, oh my gosh, let me paint a good face and let me kind of like wipe my hands of this? Do you guys feel like he's really gonna like low-key still have him do his hair and stuff like that? Because if y'all didn't know, he's been doing his hair for a while now, and he does a lot of the hair for the campaigns too. So I'm like really curious on like how that's going to go. I don't know. There's a part of me that I'm like, you know what you said. Do you guys feel that Hair by Jay should come forward and make a video and talk about what Jeffree had said? Or do you guys feel like Jeffree made him sign an NDA? There's so many questions going on with this, y'all, that I'm just like, oh, my mind is all over the place with this. But anyways, y'all, sorry for this super, super long video. There was just obviously so much to talk about. Let me know what you guys think about the whole entire situation. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.